Well, thanks for joining me again. We're back in the 107. Now, the little 107, we've got a wheel bearing noise. Now, I've left this so it's got really bad because I want to get it on the camera. It's hard to pick these noises up, and I'm hoping it's that bad now that you will be able to hear it on the camera. Okay, that's in neutral now, so all the noise you've got there. You can hear how it's speed related. As you're slowing down, the noise changes. Right, let's get back, let's get it changed over. Right, first thing then, let's get it jacked up. Now with the trolley jack, we can get it straight underneath the sill there and add that in the air.
If you haven't got a trolley jack, I'll put some links in the description below to some fantastic trolley jacks. And they're not as expensive as you think. They don't half make light work of jacking a car up, and it's so much safer than using a scissor jack or something else like that, a bottle jack, or the ramps.
Okay. Get the safety down.
These are 17mm bolts holding the wheel on, and I'll just whiz them off with my Milwaukee gun. Makes light work of that as well. These wheels are the ATS Cups Juniors. I've got a video on those. I'll put a link in for that as well.
You can hear that. Ooh, not the best. Okay, so we've got this torque strip to get it out first. I've got my bit box. I'll pop that open, and it's gonna be that one, I think. Yeah, which is the TX30. Chuck that in the screwdriver and whiz that out. There we go. Flip the brake drum off. Just give it a little wiggle. Let's get a screwdriver in there.
We just pop that screwdriver between the drum and the back plate and just tweak it. Just give it a little wiggle.
There we go. There it is, that's that out of the way. Okay, so this complete hub is coming off. That's really tight, that is. You can feel it's kind of notchy and tight and horrible. It sounds a little bit metallic. Right, so what we've got to do is take the ABS sensor out from the back. So let's unplug that. Okay, that's a TX30 in the middle. Just pop that in there. Just go ahead and tap it in. And then I'll get my little ratchet on there. Let's see if I can't crack it off. There we go, that's got it. That's got it, and then I can whip that out now. Okay, there it is. And can we get the little sensor out now? Just give it a wiggle. And gently prise it away. There we go. ABS sensor's out. Now I've just got to relieve these 4 bolts here, and these are 12mm, I think they're coming at. Okay, so 12mm, yeah, perfect. So you can get the ratchet in.
I do apologise for the flickering of the light. This is a new lead light I bought, and it's absolute garbage. It's interfering with the camera. It looks fine to the eye, but when you put it on camera, it just causes this flickering.
Yeah. On the top there. You see that one? Two. And then the torque, the ones are down the bottom. Yeah. Gonna get it with that. We'll do with an extension on it.
And this Milwaukee fuel ratchet, it's really handy at getting in behind here where you just can't get that impact gun in. Just makes light work of undoing these bolts. Cracking bit of kit. It just whizzes these out, no problem.
Right, last but not least, the awkward little one over there.
The universal joint I'm using there, it's an impact universal joint, which is great because it's quite stiff, and when you're trying to line it up to a bolt, it doesn't flop like a really loose one. I'll put links in for all of these bits of kit in the description.
That's that one out. Right then, so we're free of all of those. I'll come back around this side. So now this is just hanging there by a thread, and if we can give it a whack.
And don't make me laugh, hanging by a thread. Yeah, I wish.
Should come away with a bit of leverage and a bit of higgledy-piggledy. It should come away. I was hoping it would anyway, without having to take everything else off.
So as with the aygo, this is really tight. The aygo was really tight. I mean, that was 170,000 miles of weathering. This one is, yeah, it's tight as well. I thought it'd come out easier.
No, brake shoes have got to come off. That ain't moving. I thought this one was going to be easier. It's not, it's tight. Okay. Let's get some pliers on it then. We'll try something new. I'm going to run a big bolt. I've got a spare one here. I'm going to run it through, put a packer behind it, and see if we can force it away like that. Let's just see if that works. So if I wind that in, I can get a socket on the back of it just to stop it from, or even something along those lines. Will that fit in there? Oh, that's delightful. I can get that on the back of that then. Like that, yeah, loving that. And wang that in there. I'll show you what I've done. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's just touching out now. It's just getting there. So let's just see if that'll go. If we can just get a bit of movement off that now. So what I've done there is I've put the wheel bolt through into the socket and then pressing on the back plate, well, just by the side of the back plate. It's got some metal behind it, so it's not going to bend, and then we can wind that up. So let's see what happens. I'll try and get you a bit closer, something like that. Let's have a look.
I'm struggling with the brake shoes being there, of positions where you can actually put this through, and also the bolt just needs packing a bit more at the back. It's just not quite long enough, so I just need to, yeah, move these brake shoes out of the way.
Hasn't moved it at all. No, not a sniff, not a snippet there, not at all. Right, let's get the brake shoes out. Let's get the brake shoes away. Okay, so it's going to be the clips first, push and twist. Let's get some light back up here so we can see what we're doing. Okay, right, push and twist on them. There's one. Two. Just pop them out the holders on either side. I've got the full video on stripping down the rear brakes if anybody's interested. Got a big spring off the top. And that's out of there. Just up. Let's take that all the way off and just have that hanging out like that. Right, let's see if we can give this a bit of whacking now.
With those brake shoes out of the way, you can just get at it a bit more and give it a bit more of a swing. But even so, this is still really, really corroded and seized in there. There's not a great deal happening at the minute. Go on, give it a whack. Give it a bash, you can fix it. Go on, give it some, watch your fingers. Gotta be careful not to hit that back plate as well. We don't want to, if you nick it a couple of times it's not a problem, but if you give it a real good bash it'll bend it. Let's try and get this nut out. It's gone a little bit tight, and hence it's spinning. Nothing the Milwaukee can't deal with.
The unbelievable Rostoff stuff. See if this will do some magic. Just get that on all round that. Front and back.
This is the Wurth Rost. It's brilliant for getting corroded stuff off.
And go again with the big hammer. Oh, that's loud. That's loud with that one.
Yeah, gone away from the copper hammer, using the hard hammer, and you get a lot more whack with it, but it's off dinging like a bell. Look at it moving though now. You can see that's with the Rostoff and the bigger hammer. You can just see it starting to move. The back plate and everything, it's all coming away from that axle. But it's definitely doing something. Keep going, come on, give it some big licks. With that, yeah, tap the back plate back a little bit. Go again. And I'm thinking now if I can put the bolt through and wind it like I did with the spacer behind, it should separate the back plate from the front. I'm going to give it some more bashes though, just to work it a little bit, just free it off a tad, just to make sure that it's going to come away. Thing is, if you do it too much, the brake pipe, we don't want that to be flexing too much because it is fixed. So if I whack this and the whole lot comes away, it will damage the brake pipe. So you just got be a little bit cautious of that. Look at him going for it, look.
Right, let's try and separate the back plate and the thing by doing what we did before with that nut.
And what I've done this time is just put a few washers inside the socket there, just to pack it out a little bit, just to give me a little bit more pressure or movement, save the bolt being too short.
It's away from the...
And also because the brake shoes are off, we've got more positions. We can get all four positions now.
Right, let's try a little socket again on the end of that. See if we can prise it back. Working. You can see that from around here. Get you in there. See how it's pushed it there. If I move it around to the bottom as well, then go from there. A bit more. To that side.
You can see there I've got that socket. I'm just going to pack another washer in the end of it there, look, just shove a washer in before I put it onto the end of that bolt, just to pack it out a little bit, which just allows us to really wind this in a bit and push it away. And you can see that now as I wang that up. See it separating the two, look. It's working like a dream, that.
Come back round here.
What would have been ideal if I'd got two spare bolts, because I don't want to use a real bolt that I'm putting the wheels back on with because it might damage the thread. But if I'd got another one, I could have put two in and forced it out equal and it'd have worked even better. But hey, I'm just going to have to keep swapping one side to the other and getting the hammer on it and bashing it just to make it work. It's coming though, we're definitely getting there. look at it move now, look. That's really getting a wiggle on. Maybe just get a lever behind it.
There we go. Now it's coming off.
I kept thinking it was just about to come off. I'd hit it a bit more, it'd move about and not come off. It's just hanging on by a thread now. It really is just close to coming away. Come on. It's being stubborn. It really is. Come on, off you come. Yeah, come on, give it a lever. Come on. Getting bored now. Give it a whack, get it off, come on. This has come off easier than what the Aygo one did in the previous video. So like I said before, if you really want to see a stubborn one, have a look back on my my back catalogue and watch the Aygo, because that was an absolute dog. I had to heat it and all sorts trying to get that off. That was really bad. It's coming now though. Here it comes. Oh, the final bit, come on. That's the back plates come away. Come on, last bit.
Oh, damn it. Bloody things come away, I don't want that. Come on. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Oh, look at that, how rusty that gets there. Terrible, ain't that? Terrible. But it's off. That's the bonus. Right then. I can whip that nut out of there now. I'll take that out in a minute. That's, right, so what we'll do for you, put that on, give it a quick clean around there.
So just whiz the file around here just to get rid of any corrosion that's knocking about. Just to make the new one go in much easier.
Give it a good clean round there. I've been onto the Amazon shop, picked up a new bearing, put links in the description for it. An absolute bargain. Let's get this out of the box. You get some new mounting nuts there. Nice. And a nice new bearing, there we go. Look at that beauty. Delightful. Absolutely spot on. I'll leave the cap on for now until we've got it all mounted, and then we'll put that back on again. This is really oily though, we're going to have to get some of that crap off there. Just going to get a bit of blue roll. So let's just give this a quick wipe down. Get some of this, just to stop it going rusty in the box. You don't want to get it and it look absolutely disgusting, so they just cover it in a fine layer of oil. Right, and here we go. So insert that back into the hole. Looking good as new. And we've got this nice shiny new, well not shiny because they're black. We'll get those through the back. Goes back in some cheese and what it comes out, doesn't it? So what I thought was going to be a nice easy one has turned out to be another sticky one. But to be fair, the little tip with the bolt through, you could use that, you could wind a bolt, like a wheel bolt through onto a nut, another nut behind it, or a blank socket, if you can get one in. Something along those lines. As long as when you wind it through, when you're winding it through the back, you don't want to be winding onto these parts. Obviously, you've got to go between the gaps. So you've got to wind it through so that when you're pressing whatever it is going into the gap there. to press against the back plate and push it through. So yeah, that's one to be wary of. Don't wind it onto these parts because you'll be there all day, it won't go anywhere. And the last one is the one down in the bottom corner, which is a little tricky one. I'll just get that one started. Right, let's bring you back around here so you can see what we're up to. Okay, so we've got his new bolts there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get them done up nice and tight now. Just to finish them off, just put them on a little knuckle bar and just make sure that they're up nice and tight. 1, 2, 3. Obviously being careful not to put your bar into this pipe and damage the brake pipe. Oh, 4. Right then. That's them up nice and tight. Okay. Now we've got the ABS sensor. You've got to make sure that the rubber is still on it. And if it's not, change it for the new one. You do get a new one in the packet. What condition's that in? To be fair, that looks pretty damn good. I'm not going to risk pulling it off and changing it. I'm not a big believer in taking things off that ain't broke. So we can slide that in there. Get this little TX30 and we'll do that back up again. Lovely, that's that done. So that's the ABS sensors in, we're all bolted up at the back. That's everything done round there. Right then, now we're back into the brakes. We need there's 2 little pins to come through the back. There for the back plate. We can slide his handbrake cable's got to go over the top of that bracket at the bottom. Like that. We'll bring that in behind there like that.
Like I mentioned earlier, I've got a full video on rebuilding rear brakes on the Aygo, the Citybug, the C1 107. I'll put a link in the description.
Top spring is going in from that side there all the way over. So that one over there. Like that. That's that one in. And then the bottom spring again goes in. Across from there to there. And now we can hook that in on the bottom as well. We'll get the I can get this retaining clip back on here. Stop it pinging out. One. pull the bottom across, locate it in at the bottom there. Locking pin through. Same thing again, we'll just twist that on. I must get a proper tool for this. Faffing about with pliers. Okay, that's locked in there. Okay, so I think we're good to go. That's all in, we're in at the bottom, that's all there. That's up nice and tight, bearings as beautiful as anything. Okay, got that at the top. And then we can get that and drop that in at the top as well. Now it's going to line up. Like so. There's a lock nut back in there. There we go. And what you get is, to start with, is the brake shoes just centralising. So you're going to get a little bit of rub on there, but I can tell from that they're freeing off nicely. That's absolutely perfect. So I don't need to muck about with the adjustments on it. We've not altered it, so it's absolutely fine. I'll just sweep up the mess before I let the car down. Let's get that wheel back on again.
I still really like these wheels. I think they look gorgeous. Such a nice design, and they just go really well with the style of the car. We'll get them nuts back through. Oh, me and my nuts and bolts. I keep getting muddled up. That's a bolt. Just drop them in gently to start with, just make sure they're all in and it's all lined up, and then we'll bang them up. The gun's got automatic torque setting on it. These are set to 110 Newton meters, which is plenty good enough for this one.
Beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's get it on the deck. So there we have it, another little job done on the 107. It's a bit tighter than I was thinking it was going to be. Now I've been having to think, because I thought I changed this side, but it wasn't, it was the other side. This side was the one that was on the original axle when I swapped the whole axle off the scrap car. New bearing on there, all as good as new. So she lives on to fight another day. If it's been ever used to you, just drop me a little thumbs up, like, subscribe, and plenty more videos coming. Thanks for watching.